Meet Donna Adelson from Coral Springs, Florida. I want to hear all about you, Donna. Let's go.
Well, I'm a domestic coordinator.
A domestic coordinator?
Yes. I'm responsible for the activities, classes, and lessons of my son Robert, who is 16, Charlie, who is 12, Wendi, who is 10, my husband Harvey, who's in the audience, and my dog Sam.
All right. And how old is Sam?
5.
5. Well, good. Give him our best. Nice to have you here. And this is vowels worth nothing. Consonants are going to be worth. Can we get 800? We can. All right. So I'm writing on this. Again, person is a category. Stu, still your turn. Letter, please. L. Nope, no L. Donna.
M.
Yes, there are 2 M's. Let them come up. You have 5 seconds. Person. Alan. K. Yes, K.
Mustard maker.
Nope,
Mustard
still
maker.
Stu. H, please. Yes, there's 1 H. Time starts now. Person. Donna.
F.
Yes.
Mischief maker.
Yeah, that's...
Nice.
You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record.
Okay, here we go. Hello, Tater. Hello, Ashley Monroe. Hello, SheFly9. Hello, Liz Graham. How is everyone doing this Saturday? Again, I have to apologize for the loud sound behind me. Again, I think those who watched Donna Adelson's trial with me will know that my air conditioner is broken. And it's just not possible for me to do this show without these fans going. I'm going to die in the New York heat. Okay. With that said, talking today about Luis Rivera's bizarre testimony, very different than the testimony he's given in other trials. Seems to have a very bad memory. Also, he seemed to back up Donna Adelson's defense. I was like, is this a prosecution witness or is this a defense witness? I scratched my head at the end of his testimony. Said that he has no knowledge that Donna has anything to do with it. It was the biggest win of Donna's defense so far. Of course, the defense in Charlie Adelson's trials scored the biggest win with Luis Rivera when they asked if it was possible if Katie had blackmailed Charlie Adelson, and he admitted it could be possible. That was the biggest win Charlie Adelson ever got. Georgia Kappelman didn't even come back with redirect, which I found very strange. Maybe she's going to argue it in closing. I would have come back and redirect, but I think she thinks Luis Rivera is a loose cannon. And here's why. This is from the legal, I've seen these legal filings myself, but AA Legal Focus, Judy did a really nice job putting them together in one video. And if you want to watch, I encourage you all to watch the entire video. It's linked in the description of this episode. But here is Luis Rivera has been writing the state, trying to lower his sentence. He's concerned about, for years, basically, since 2021, he's concerned that he is going to get bumped off in state prison doing the state sentence. He's like, look, I helped you guys out. Let's hear a little of these legal filings. I sped this up just a tad so we can make it through it in an efficient way. Here we go.
So this is a motion that I'm sure somebody helped him type up back in July 2021, where he is asking to change his sentence. He says he cooperated with the state's attorney. His cooperation was substantial. He's also expected to testify against others. He's a former gang member. He says serving his sentence in Florida would put him in grave danger. Federal sentence expires May 2026. He's been a model prisoner, currently enrolled in GED classes and other programming.
Right. And he says he's enrolled in model GED classes. He wants to be a better man for his daughter, who was born in 2014. So, I mean, it goes on. I mean, there's so many different letters and filings, and the state hasn't done anything for him. Here's from Chuck Collins. Dear Mr. Rivera, I've received and reviewed the above reference letter. I mean, I believe the state's position is like, look, you got a sweetheart deal. Involved in murder in Florida, you get life. You got a tiny sentence for what you did. You should feel grateful. We're not going to do much for you. And so this gives just a little background. So here's, I've received and reviewed the above reference letter. This is from the state. I can certainly understand your concerns. I've also reviewed the motion for appointment of counsel you filed with the Leon County Clerk of Court in reference to your letter. At this time, I remain on the court-appointed registry in Leon County. Oh, this is his lawyer. However, I'm unaware of how a defendant can request a specific court-appointed attorney. The court appoints me to represent you in any capacity in the future. I do not know of any legal reasons I could not accept said appointment. So he's trying to get a lawyer to get a better deal. Here's another filing from him. Then they denied him this appointment of counsel that he wanted. He's mad at the state for a host of different reasons, but mainly here's another letter. Here, this pretty much sums it up. This is from Luis Rivera.
He helped him. So he says the same thing, that he's cooperated. It's been substantial, resulted in convictions. He's in federal prison, supposed to be a total of 19 years. Okay, he was a high-ranking member of the Latin Kings. So it makes him a target of that street gang. He's now marked for death. He's very concerned about having to be in a state facility in Florida. He would be in grave danger. He'd have to probably be in isolation, confined to a cell 23 hours a day. Oh, he says, I understand the seriousness of it. However, I did not pull the trigger.
Right. He's like, I didn't pull the trigger. Help me out. The fact is they did help him out. 19 years compared to life, pretty good. I'm sure Charlie Adelson, Katherine Magbanua, etc. all wish they got that sentence. Katherine Magbanua didn't pull the trigger either, although she's hoping for favorable treatment too. Not with those pro offers. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do with her. Very curious to see how that turns out. So that's what I think is behind what we saw as bizarre testimony on Friday in court. Let's take a look at it. That just gives you a little bit of the background. But I encourage you to watch all of Judy's video.
Everyone, please be seated. Mr. Rivera, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please speak loudly and clearly.
Yes, sir.
You may examine.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
Luis Rivera, Luis Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, where are you from?
I'm from Puerto Rico.
Okay, but were you living in Miami back in 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you live in Miami?
My whole life.
You were born in Puerto Rico, though?
Yeah.
Okay, but moved to Miami at what age?
2 years old.
Okay. Have you been convicted of a felony,
Yes, ma'am.
including the murder that we're here about today?
Doris, it's not my AC is broken. I can't believe you can't hear it. That's fantastic. I hear it running through my headphones. It sounds like I'm in a wind tunnel. So it may affect me more than it affects you guys. Sounds like, to my ears, it sounds like I'm in a wind tunnel. I have 2 fans going, the window open on the New York City streets. I can't believe it. That is a testament to the sound blockage feature on StreamYard. Oh, yeah. Can't wait for this thing to be fixed.
Yes, ma'am.
It's 5 felonies, sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're currently incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that for this case or this case and another case?
Both. Well,
Both. So it's a federal sentence and this
and
sentence.
the state case.
What did you plead to in this case?
Ain't no hollow back girl. I'm going to have that in my head all day now. Hollow back girl. We have sweaters on, cold in Canada today. My mother's in Nova Scotia. She's writing me, texting me, talking about all the lobster rolls she's eating and making me very jealous. Great country.
This case, guilty
Guilty to what?
to 2nd-degree murder.
If you can speak up, Mr. Rivera, that'd be so.
Guilty to 2nd-degree murder.
Thank you.
One more, Mr. Rivera.
What was your sentence on the 2nd-degree murder?
19 years.
Okay, and that was concurrent with your federal sentence, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what did you have to do in exchange for getting a 19-year sentence?
I had to cooperate.
What does cooperation mean to you?
Well, telling.
Telling on who?
My co-defenders, Garcia, Katie.
All right. Did anybody ever tell you what to say?
No, ma'am.
Has anybody ever told you anything other than to tell the truth?
No, excuse me?
Has anybody told you to say anything other than the truth?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than the sentence that you got in exchange for cooperation?
No, ma'am.
Did anybody ever tell you, oh, you have to testify about a specific person to get a deal?
No, ma'am. Not at all.
Have you been offered anything on your federal sentence from doing this cooperation on this case?
No.
Yeah, they can't help you out with a federal sentence. It's like, but he was trying to get his sentence to run, concurrent. Is it running concurrent, like at the same time as his federal sentence running the same time as his state sentence? Can't remember. Help me out, guys. But he would rob you. You forget. They're all so well behaved, as my mother, who volunteers, she teaches in jail, says they're all so well behaved in jail. You forget sometimes. I think some of my audience forgets that they will rob. This guy will rob you just as soon as look at you. I mean, that's what he likes to do. He likes to rob. The way other people like to play chess or do something else, knit, he likes to rob. That's his favorite thing to do, rob people, especially drug dealers.
As part of your negotiation or your lawyer's negotiation of this case, did you give up what's called a proffer, a recorded proffer?
Yes, ma'am.
And even back then when you gave the proffer, did anybody tell you what you needed to say there?
No, ma'am.
Were you hired to participate in the murder of Dan Markel?
Yes, ma'am.
Who hired you to be involved in the murder?
Well, I got it from my friend, Garcia.
Is that Sigfredo Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you know him?
Childhood.
I missed this on Friday. I don't know. My head was so mind blown from Jackie Fulford's opening statement. It's been called the worst opening statement ever given by a defense attorney in any trial. It's the worst one I've ever seen. But for me, it was just so morally repellent that she would call Dan Markel, Danny, what his friends called him, while she's trying to get off his murderer. Really, and has been called. Some people view her as the mastermind of the crime. Other people view Wendi. We can argue about that all day. It depends really what you mean by mastermind, but certainly she was really pushing to get this done. And when she wasn't pushing for Dan Markel to be murdered, and we don't know that for sure, we just know what we have as far as evidence and how involved she was in this whole relocation thing. She was pushing for him to be psychologically tortured by Wendi and suggesting various ways that Wendi could psychologically torture him. So forgive me if I want to throw up with Jackie Fulford's opening statement. And as many of you pointed out, she says, I don't mean to be respectful. She meant to say disrespectful, as she was saying, but I like to call him Danny. You know, and I know people I just ask that you not, let's try to eliminate any of this kind of, I know people have favorite nicknames for her concerning her looks, but I really just don't think it makes us look good as a people. My problem is not with her looks, it's with her actions. So if you can refrain from the disparaging nicknames about her looks, comparing her to, giving her men's names and stuff, I just, let's draw attention to really what's wrong with her, which is not her looks, it's her actions. It's so repulsive. Ay, ay, ay. So she calls him Garcia. At the time, I thought he was saying he wants to be called Mr. Rivera. But no, she calls him Garcia. She says she opens her cross with Mr. Garcia, which supports my theory that I don't think that she has worked very hard on this case. Her opening seemed disjointed and rushed, like she just had created it the night before or that morning. She seemed to, the way she was echoing Wendi's inflections and using her words in her opening, talking about divorce is not fun, makes me think that she has been cramming for this trial and hasn't done her due diligence. I don't know. I mean, did Donna Adelson hire her with the idea that maybe she could get an appeal on ineffective counsel? Josh Zellman, I didn't think his cross was, he was reaching with these unbelievable things, like just because did Donna ever say, I don't like Dan Markel when she called him a jerk? Is jerk a pet name in some other language? A jerk, a million different 4-letter words, and bastard, we're supposed to think she liked him. It was just not great. Jackie Fulford had, like I said, the most effective cross with Luis Rivera when she was not calling him Sigfredo Garcia.
We're friends.
So to cooperate and get this deal, you had to turn on one of your best friends.
Yes, ma'am.
Who enlisted Sigfredo Garcia to be a part of this murder?
Katie,
Who's Katie?
his wife.
Is that Katherine Magbanua?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who enlisted her to be involved in this murder?
Not really.
Was it a murder for hire?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know that somebody was paying Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
And Katie was the one that brought the money to you all, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the purpose of this murder as you understood it?
That they wanted the kids.
Who wanted the kids?
Wendi.
Okay. And did you understand that you were killing the father of the kids so that Wendi could have the kids?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you previously referred to a dentist being involved?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was the dentist?
Charlie.
And how was he related?
Katie's boyfriend, IPs, whatever you want to call him.
All right, so Katie was the wife of Garcia, but also the girlfriend of the dentist?
Yeah.
Did you have any contact with the dentist ever?
No.
Did you have any contact with any member of the Adelson
Boy, that yeah says it all. He does not like Katie. Yeah. Yeah, she was sleeping around. Oh, yeah.
family?
No, ma'am.
Everything went through Katie, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What did the dentist, if you know, have to do with the lady in Tallahassee who needed her kids?
I don't know nothing about him. I don't know nothing about that family.
Who was in charge of getting the money after the job was done?
Katie.
So here's another odd answer from Luis Rivera. When asked, he understood, as he said to law enforcement, as he's testified before in other trials, that he always understood that the reason that they were doing this murder is so Wendi could get her kids for the lady. And that he was pointed out to Wendi as she was walking down the street. Now, Wendi said it must have been some other lady with some other kids. I don't know. I don't know about that. What are your thoughts on that? Curious to hear your thoughts. But now in this trial, after all this filing, he seems rather to not know why he was doing this murder. Odd, no?
How much were you to be paid for your part in this crime?
35.
$35,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know the total amount that the job paid?
No, not really.
Did you know how much Garcia got?
40, I believe.
$40,000?
Yeah.
And did you know how much Katie got?
No, I don't know. I can't remember. But I think it was like 40. I think it was total was be like 100, something like that.
Okay. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it a one-time payment or was it a payment that occurred over time? It's what you got.
No, it's a one-time payment.
What did you know about the man that you came to Tallahassee to kill?
I don't know nothing about him.
How did you know who to kill?
Constituto Garcia.
How did he know?
Katie.
Did he have some information about the man you were here to kill?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell him what that was.
I was a piece of paper with his picture on of his face and the address.
Picture of Dan Markel's face?
Yes, ma'am.
And the address of what? Where he lived?
Of his house, yes.
Did you and Rivera refer to each other? I'm sorry, you and Garcia refer to each other as brothers?
Yes, ma'am.
Movement evidence states 45, Your Honor.
Exactly.
No, Your Honor.
States 45 is admitted.
Is that
What's curious is that his whole demeanor, to my eye, seems annoyed with being there. And he's never had a long, drawn out testimony for the state. But it seems like Georgia is trying to keep her questions to yes and no questions and shorten it as much as she can in this trial because she's picking up on this. She knows the history. She knows about these filings. She knows that Luis Rivera is not happy with the state and that he's resentful that he has to do this and has to be a snitch. And he thinks that 19 years is excessive. I mean, he may be talking to people in other states. I mean, the sentences in New York, if you do a crime in New York, can be ridiculous, have you heard about people getting crazy short sentences or not charged at all for murder? If you get one of these open society backed, foundation backed DAs, you could not even get charged. Maybe he's talking to some of those people in prison, saying, why did I get 19 years for being a getaway driver? Because Florida is still has laws against murder. I mean, if you go to Chicago, don't even get me started about Chicago, Baltimore, Maryland, other places. They see all these convicted criminals as victims, and they're, no matter how psychopathic or dangerous they are, they want to get them out at all costs, or not charge them. And some DAs, like Chesa Boudin was in San Francisco, Kimberly Fox in Chicago, Bragg in New York, were put in for quote unquote criminal justice reform, which means don't charge anyone and overturn as many long convictions as you can. People who are given significant sentences.
You and Mr. Garcia.
I mean, the whole point is to try to bring our criminal justice system and make it look as much like Europe, like the UK, for example, England, Italy, where they have 20 or 30-year sentences, and that's it. They don't really do these life sentences except in extreme situations.
Yes, ma'am.
Please silence your phone.
Have you ever been to Tallahassee before you came for this case, related to this case?
Never in my life.
How many times did you come to Tallahassee related to this case?
This case twice.
So were you with Sigfredo Garcia both times?
Yeah.
Was that one time in June and one time in July?
I believe so.
Okay, and July was the second time was when the murder happened, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it just the two of you on both of these trips?
Yes, ma'am.
Objection, States 44. Introduce States 40.
I'm going to be talking with Patty from Patty's Playhouse tomorrow, who was in the courtroom. I'm curious. There's also Josh Zellman earned his fee with objecting on the grounds that there was no foundation, that the state hadn't established foundation, and he got those sustained, those objections, and it really threw Georgia Kappelman off of her rhythm. So I'm curious what's going to happen next week. I hope she's prepared for that. It seems to be a strategy he uses in trial. So I just saw someone say in the chat that Georgia Kappelman seemed ill-prepared. Yeah, ill-prepared to have significant objections on grounds that she hadn't led foundation. She had an established foundation. Got really sticky and contentious, and the judge got very annoyed with the defense, but while he was sustaining the objections.
For Your Honor.
States 44 is a minute.
Publishing States 44. Who's this right here?
Garcia.
And this?
Katie.
Who's that?
My baby mama.
Your child's mother?
Yes, ma'am.
What's her name?
Jessica.
Okay, and that's you there?
Yes.
Was this picture taken before or after the murder?
I can't remember.
At the time of the murder, was Katie with the dentist? Was Katie with Garcia? Was she with both?
Both.
Were you at the time of this murder living with Jessica Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
There's an address on the rental car contract, 1515 Northeast 135th Street, number 14. Do you recognize that address?
That's my apartment. Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's talk about the first trip that occurred in June. How did you get here for that trip?
Well, we rented a car.
Who rented the car for the June trip?
The first one.
Yeah, if you remember.
I can't really remember. It's been so long.
But one of you, either you or Sigfredo?
Yeah, I think it was Sigfredo. I rented the Prius, so I never rented on the truck.
Okay, so Garcia rented the car for the June trip, but it was a rental car that y'all brought up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you take the same route on both trips to get to Tallahassee?
I don't remember.
Okay, and did he have the paper with the picture of Dan Markel on both trips?
Yes.
And what did you do on the first trip?
We drove by here and we just followed him around to see where he lived and shit. But
Okay, were you planning to kill him on the first trip?
I don't remember.
Okay, did you have a gun on the first trip?
Yeah.
Did you have a gun that you procured specifically to kill Dan Markel with?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that a gun that you bought off the street?
Yes, ma'am.
You bought it.
I bought it.
Okay. And were there any other guns in the vehicle for that first trip, if you know?
I think we had two.
All right. And what was the other gun?
It's a 38.
Whose gun was that?
Garcia.
On that first trip in June of 2014, did you and Garcia go to Markel's residence?
Yeah.
And did you lay eyes on him that first trip?
I believe I passed by his house and scoped him out.
You said you followed him. Do you remember where you followed him on the first trip?
Yeah, I followed him to a daycare.
Okay. How long were you here that first trip?
Maybe I don't remember.
A couple days sound right?
Just a couple of days.
Why wasn't Dan Markel killed on that first trip, if you know?
If I remember, I wasn't gonna do nothing in front of no kids. But
He had the kids with him,
yeah, yes, he did.
but for whatever reason, it didn't happen on that trip.
We lost him. I believe we lost him.
Okay. And when you didn't get it,
So this is a new story that we've never heard before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember the story being that Luis Rivera refused to let Sigfredo Garcia kill Dan Markel in front of his kids. And anyone heard the lost him story before? Let me know. Is that part of it? Have we heard that before and I'm forgetting?
done on that trip, was anyone angry at you?
At me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right. Did you hear at some point that y'all were going to have to come back if you wanted to get the money and finish the job?
Yeah.
All right. So you did come back in July. Is that right?
We came back.
And that's when you came in the Prius.
Yes, ma'am.
And you rented the Prius, right?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And that phone number that you wrote on the Prius rental agreement and wrote brother, that was Garcia's phone number?
Yeah, I think.
You took phones with you to Tallahassee?
So he can't remember that Sigfredo rented the cars. I mean, what happened to his memory? I mean, how many murders has he committed? You would think that he would remember these things. And he's testified in court. How many other times does he have to be a snitch and testify in court? So I think all of this is just trying to give the state a hard time. And this comes on the back of the defense giving the state a hard time, rightfully. That's their job. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying rightfully. And objecting on lack of foundation 1,000 times and delaying the trial. You were supposed to get through Wendi. Wendi was there. I've showed the picture. Wendi was in court ready to testify, but we didn't get to her because there was so much arguing and objections over lack of foundation, which were all sustained by Judge Everett. Love to talk to Georgia Kappelman. Love to know what she thought of it. She thought that was a good ruling or not. She didn't seem to think it was a fair ruling just by her eye rolling and attitude, but she teaches law.
For both trips, right?
Yeah.
Did you turn your phone off for the actual murder?
Yeah, I did.
What about Garcia? Do you know if he turned his phone off?
When the murder happened?
Yes, sir.
Shit. Man, I don't remember.
Okay. Did you stay in Tallahassee for a couple nights when you came here the second time?
Yeah, we stayed here for a night or two, I think.
Okay. Did y'all rent a hotel room?
Yes.
Do you know how many guns were with you on that second trip?
Nah, just one.
You only remember one gun on that trip?
Yeah, I remember one.
And that's the murder weapon?
Yes, ma'am.
The one you bought on the street?
Yes, ma'am.
What type of gun was that?
A 38.
That's a revolver?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember an incident where there was a shot fired into the floorboard of the Prius?
Yes.
Could you tell the jurors about that?
Well, we was driving
Does this story remind anyone else of Quentin Tarantino's movie where they accidentally shoot a guy in the face, Pulp Fiction? Does anybody else think the story remind them of that? All right, I gotta go let my cat out. I'll be right back. Okay, the monster is out of the room. The little monster, sweet little guy, out of the room. Okay, here we go.
Garcia put the gun out and shot the gas line in the car.
Through the floorboard of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Passenger side or driver's side?
Passenger side.
Okay, and that was the murder weapon that fired that shot?
Shit. Man, I don't remember.
Okay, but he was messing around with some gun and fired it into the car.
Yeah.
And were y'all driving in the car when that happened?
Yes, ma'am.
And did it disable the car?
The car started stopping. Little by little, it just started slowing down.
Okay, that's the Prius, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How did y'all get the car going again?
We seen somebody that he knew and stopped him and took him to the auto place to get a piece of hose to put it back together.
And the guy that you saw that...
And then we robbed a drug dealer. I mean, Wesley loves Oktoberfest. Hit the like and help Roberta get a cat door. Thank you, Wesley. Oh, that would be luxurious. That would be luxurious. Is it so bad? Are these breaks so bad for you? I hope they're not too bad for you guys. Oh, crap. Sorry. Let's see where I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that came through Garcia to you from Katie.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you say Wendi...
He was trying to hide a gun. If I'm not mistaken, he was trying to hide it.
What did happen to the gun?
Got thrown away.
Thrown away where?
In the ocean somewhere.
All right.
Previously, he's told law enforcement that they brought two guns up He said he brought 2 guns up because he was worried that after the hit was done, that Sigfredo Garcia, his bestest friend, his brother, was going to turn on him and kill him so he could get all the money. And Ison was like, yeah, I've heard that before. No honor among thieves, guys.
Who threw it in the ocean somewhere?
He did.
All right. Was that on the way back to Miami?
Yes, ma'am.
At some overpass somewhere between here and Miami?
Absolutely.
Where did you go after the murder? Go home?
We had to stop somewhere to eat. Then we went home.
Did you stop at an ATM?
I don't remember.
I'm going to show you states exhibits 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43.
Policy text this chick, hello, says, I actually think Fulford's pitch of nothing tying her directly. She said there's no evidence against her client. I thought, well, what are we doing here? Let's just send this to the jury if there's no evidence. Why are we having all this testimony, which is evidence? She tried to exploit, I hope there's not too many young people on the jury, but older people have had decades of this too. This idea that if there's not DNA, and you're right, the reason you do a murder for hire is so you don't get your hands dirty. They just undid a conviction in Oklahoma, Richard Glossop, because he got Justin Sneed to do it for him and offered him a bunch of money. And now they have to have another trial because they're just desperate to get this guy off of death row, thanks to the whole anti-death penalty movement. But the supporters of Richard Glossop will say things like there's no DNA. Same here with Donna. There won't be DNA, and there certainly won't be DNA on the money or fingerprints because she made sure of that. She washed that. Yeah, I didn't think it was I thought her opening was terrible, Bossy. Awful. But she had a good moment in this cross. We'll look at it in a second.
38 through 43.
Yes, ma'am.
Are these images fair and accurate photos of you pulling through an ATM?
Yes, ma'am.
And the date, July 18th, 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
Pembroke Pines, is that on the way home from Tallahassee?
Yeah.
That's you at the ATM. Are you the driver?
Yes, ma'am.
And who's that in the passenger seat?
Garcia.
Move to publish introduce states 38 through 43.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 38 through 43 are admitted.
May I publish?
You may.
Is that the vehicle you were driving the day the murder was done, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Publishing 39. Is that you at the ATM machine?
Yes, ma'am.
States Exhibit 40. Is this Mr. Garcia? Is he your passenger?
Yes, ma'am.
States Exhibit 41. He's the passenger that was jumping around when we saw the car in Tallahassee on the bus video?
Absolutely.
Do you remember when you turned your phone back on after the murder?
Not really.
Do you remember who was the first phone call that either of you made after the murder?
Garcia.
Who did Garcia call?
Katie.
And were you able to hear Katie on the other end of the line when he was talking to her?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you interested in that phone call?
Yes, ma'am.
Because she was going to be the one to get you the money, right?
Absolutely.
And was that phone call in reference to letting her know it's done and she's going to get the money?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you get the money?
Saturday morning.
Is that the next day?
The next day.
Do you remember that on that Saturday morning, you got a call from Katherine Magbanua?
Yes.
She was looking for you to give you the money, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that unusual for her to call you?
Not really. She never calls my phone.
She never calls your phone, but she couldn't get a hold of Garcia,
She
right?
couldn't get a hold of him, so she got in contact with me.
Okay. And at that time, wasn't Garcia living with another woman?
Yes.
And that was the woman that goes by the nickname Shrimp?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's where you ended up rousting him out of, right?
Absolutely.
To go get your money, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he wasn't living with Katie as a family at that time.
Nope.
Okay.
So he's obsessed with Katie. He's so obsessed with Katie that he'd do a murder for her, but he's living with another woman. Wonder how that works out. And you can hear that, and they're still sleeping together. I wonder how Shrimp feels about that. You can hear him asking Katie for these tiny sums of money. Put this in the bank, put that in the bank for him.
So when you say that Katie was with both of them, do you mean just that Katie was always kind of off and on with Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
So she has other boyfriends, sometimes he has other girlfriends, but they always find each other again?
Absolutely.
One moment, please, Your Honor. All right, tell us what happened when you got your money. How'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
I was in a barbershop, and they pulled up to my house, Katie and Garcia, and they called my phone. Hey, I think my baby mama called me. Well, they came to my house.
Okay, Katie and Garcia brought the money.
Yeah, I was in a barbershop, and
Okay.
Katie and Garcia, they went to my house and brought the money.
All right, and do you know where Katie got the money from? Were you there when Katie got the money?
No.
But you knew that she was supposed to go get it,
Absolutely.
and she did.
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you get?
35.
Was there anything unusual about how your payment was packaged?
$35,000 for 19 years in prison. Who would take that money, amount of money? No one. I mean, this story, such an exploitation of the poor by rich people. Feel they're throwaway trash people. And these aren't the best people. There are people you want, but just the arrogance of it. But I have to apologize to Donna. I may have misread her. I thought it said apprehended. It may have said approached. Her script. I'm looking at it again. It may have said I approached her. Donna, her script that she wrote, the snitch in jail. She was going to offer veneers for this perjured testimony, this false testimony about Katie. Veneers, prescription drugs, property, money. So I may have read that wrong. Maybe it said I approached her. I thought it said apprehended. It's really hard. It looks like she may have crossed out things. And I'm reading it from the projector where they projected it tiny. Hopefully that evidence will be released to the public, the exhibits.
Yeah, it was weird. It was all stapled.
Was it cash money?
Cash.
Okay, stapled how? All hundreds.
All hundreds, $1,000 stapled.
Stapled into bundles of $1,000 each.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever seen stapled money before?
No.
Did you and Garcia buy anything with your cut of the money?
I just bought a motorcycle.
46 and 47. Moving to evidence 46 and 47, Your Honor.
No objection to the defense.
No objection.
They are admitted.
Publishing States Exhibit 46. This yellow motorcycle, whose is that?
Garcia.
Is that something he bought with the money that was the proceeds of this murder?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what about this vehicle back here?
Yeah, he bought that one too.
He also bought that with his cut of the money?
Yeah.
And States Exhibit 47, What about this motorcycle right here?
That's mine.
Is that what you bought or part of what you bought with your money?
Yes, ma'am.
How long after the murder did you guys make those purchases? Days, weeks, months?
Probably like a month.
Did you make any changes to your cell phone after the murder? Did you dump your cell phone?
I don't remember.
Did you meet with Investigator Newland from my office to see if you could recognize some voices on some recorded telephone calls?
Yes, ma'am.
And did Mr. Newland play some calls for you and have you initial on a sheet if you could identify the voice
Absolutely.
on the sheet on that call?
Yes, ma'am.
States Exhibit 136. Is it? I'm going to show you what I have marked as States Exhibit 136. Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
And are these your initials here?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that mean you're verifying that the highlighted name, you know that person and that is their voice
Absolutely.
on the particular call that reference?
Yes.
Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move in evidence 136.
Objection. States 136, Linda.
One moment, please, Your Honor.
Take your time.
Did you know where the dentist lived?
Nope.
Did you know that the dentist had a safe full of money?
Nope.
Did you know that the dentist was going to be paying for at least part of this murder?
No.
And if you had known that the dentist had a safe full of money, would you have driven all the way to Tallahassee to do the murder to then get the money?
No.
What would have been a better idea?
Overruled, and he has knowledge of his own actions and what he was thinking at the time.
What-
Answer the question.
What would you have preferred to do to get the money?
I would have went and robbed them myself.
Did you suggest to Garcia on the way up to Tallahassee that y'all could just go to whoever had the money and rob them instead of doing this murder?
I had mentioned something like that. Yes.
But that Garcia said that wouldn't work, right?
No.
Nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garcia.
Excuse me.
I said, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just want to make
Okay, did everybody hear that? Good afternoon, Mr. Garcia. Might be important when you're examining someone to get their name correct. No one knows who that adolescent was sitting next to Harvey. I don't think so.
sure I understood your testimony. it was your testimony that the first trip you came up on, you scoped out Mr. Markel's house, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that he was going to be taking his kids to school. So when he came out with the kids, you're trying to follow him to the school, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you got lost. He lost you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the second time that you came up, you knew he was going to be taking the children to school. And so you followed him to the school, correct?
The daycare, yes.
Yes. And then you knew he was going to be going to the gym, right?
I didn't know he was going to the gym. I just followed him.
You followed him to the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you followed him to his house.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's where he was killed.
Yes, ma'am.
And the woman who wanted him to be killed, past you and Sigfredo and Katie, the woman who wanted him to be killed was Wendi Adelson, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It was she wanting her children, correct?
Absolutely.
So is this Donna throwing Wendi under the bus? I don't think so. I think it's just good lawyering. But this is what he's always said, that they were doing this for Wendi. Get her kids back. He's always been one of the strongest witnesses against Wendi. In this case, not Donna. He's never mentioned Donna. And good cross by Jackie Fulford for capitalizing on it. Oh, it was the mother and brother of the defense paralegal. Thanks, Raven, in the know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to show you what
Mr. Rivera.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
I'm so sorry, but it doesn't really matter to me. Can I call you Luisi? Since I'm on the first name basis with Danny Markel, the victim here, as I'm representing his murderer and trying to get her off. You know, I really want Donna to have a decent defense. I don't want her to have a terrible defense because then she's going to get it overturned. I don't want them to do something that would allow this conviction, if it becomes a conviction, to be overturned. Could be a hung jury, could get an acquittal. We don't know. But certainly the way all the other trials have gone, odds are on her getting convicted. Also, she's very unlikable when she takes the stand. I don't think the jury will like her. But who knows what Donna Adelson will see when she takes the stand. Maybe she'll take the stand and put on the performance of a life. A life. It was terrible. I didn't know. I was afraid. We don't know.
I apologize. Mr. Rivera.
But I find Jackie Fulford repellent. If I were a juror, she would have hit such a poor note with me with trying to take the victim's moniker and align herself with the victim. And then she went into the brutality of the crime. I didn't really go over that yesterday. But she seems to really revel in telling every gory detail of it. I think she's trying to desensitize the jury to the heinousness of this crime. To not sweep it under the rug, but she would have hit such a bad note with me on that opening. I don't know. I would find it very hard to listen to anything else she said. She's lost credibility with me when she called him Danny. I don't mean to be respectful. That's what she says. It's a little slip up there. I just like to call the victim who I didn't know in front of the grieving victim's parents there too in the courtroom. Disgusting. She's going to pretend she's one of them.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 50. Could you take a look at that and tell me if you recognize that?
Yeah.
And what is that?
Like a profile of everybody's face.
Okay. And did you make some marks on this for me and then sign it on March the 11th of 2025?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You just hold on to that for a second. Mr. Vera, when we met with you that day, taking your deposition, and I presented that to you, you gave us information about what had happened, pretty similar to what you talked about here today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And when we were done talking about those things and some information about Sigfredo and Katie, I presented you with what's in front of you as Defendant's Exhibit 50, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I asked if you would put the number 1 and circle it next to the person you know as Katie, who you said was in charge of this whole deal, correct?
Yep.
And did you do that?
Yep.
All right. And then I said, would you put a number 2 next to the person you say did this killing?
Yes.
And you did that, correct?
Yes, I did.
And that was Sigfredo Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
The first one was Katherine Magbanua, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then I said, would you put a number 3 next to yourself on the paper? And did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're the one who got the gun that was used to kill Dan Markel, and you drove the car that day. You didn't shoot him, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I said, if you would, please put the number 4 next to the man who was killed, and you did that with Dan Markel, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then I said, if you would, put the number 5 next to the lady that wanted the man killed. And did you do that?
Yes, I did.
And was that with Wendi Adelson?
Yes, I did.
And then I asked you if the 2 people on the top of the page who have their pictures there and the names Donna Adelson and Harvey Adelson, you see those on the top?
Yes, ma'am.
I asked you, as far as you know, were they?
She can't get her own client's name right. Donald, Donna. I mess up too talking. This is her client. She just seems ill-prepared. I think she's a dark person. I mean, can you imagine feeling comfortable to call the victim Danny as you're representing his killer in front of the grieving victim's parents, what they called them? You know, I like to be one of you and call him Danny. It's disgusting. This woman just really raised all the red flags for me. Someone I would want nothing to do with, that I would stay as far away from as possible. You know, I'm not crazy about lawyers in general, especially defense attorneys, but although I have had some who've been on the show multiple times, I understand why everyone needs a good defense attorney. But this woman, whew, so callous, so cruel.
Involved in any of this? And you said no, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So I asked you to put X's next to the people who on that page were not involved in this.
Yes, ma'am.
And you did that.
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Just one moment, Your Honor.
We're right at the end here. Curious.
Redirect examination.
No redirect.
Is Mr.
She just had him say essentially that my client had nothing to do with it and he agreed. No redirect. Okay. I guess she'll clear it up in closing. Unless they fixate on that. If I were a juror, my ears would have gone, huh? All right. So that is his bizarre, his memory's bad. He did everything to help out the defense. That I think he's angry at the state for not reducing his time. That's what I think. That was a very hostile cooperative testimony he gave. So I'm going to end this episode the way I end so many of my episodes about the murder of Dan Markel with a victim impact letter. This is one we haven't read in a while. This is to the Honorable James C. Hankinson. Dan Markel was my cousin. His father, Phil, my first cousin. I knew Dan as a child, my little cousin, and became reacquainted with him when his sister Shelley got married in Toronto in August of 1996. My husband and I went to the wedding, and enjoyed a coffee with Dan in the small cafe in Toronto the day before the wedding. Dan was so warm and welcoming and wondered aloud why it took so long for us to reconnect and get to know each other as adults. We instantly warmed to one another and saw each other as often as we could, given that we lived miles apart across the continent and in different countries. My husband and I were intrigued by Dan's loving and positive nature and enjoyed being with him. Dan clerked for a judge in the United States Court of the Ninth Circuit in Phoenix. After his time there, he would return for yearly reunions with the judge and former clerks. We had a winter home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and spent as much time as we could with Dan. Whenever we were both in town, Dan introduced us to the judge on a couple of occasions and to the other attorneys he worked with. We went to the movies, dinners, and he occasionally stayed with us as well. We loved spending time together. Dan kept in touch and visited us in our home in Victoria, BC, with Wendi shortly after they got married. Whenever we spoke by phone, he would constantly talk about his cherished boys. It was clear that they were the light of his life. When he and Wendi separated, Dan was distraught about his children and the entire situation. Losing Dan was a huge and painful shock for me. I cannot imagine the grief and suffering Dan's parents, Ruth and Phil, his sister, and other family members have been going through since his untimely and shocking death. They continue to suffer while this tragedy continues and always will. Dan's two boys will never know and experience the depth of love their father had for them and will not receive his loving encouragement and guidance as they grow older. Best, Norma Butterfield. That is what I have for today, guys. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. Support the channel. This is all a listener-supported channel. I cannot do it without my listeners. You can become a Patreon member and get access to content you won't get anywhere else. You can send a one-time donation via Buy Me a Coffee, Venmo. Links are in the description of this and every episode. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Patty from Patty's Playhouse is coming on to talk about what it's like, Donna Adelson's trial from inside the courtroom. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Donna, Harvey, Wendi's appearance, also what it was like with all the arguing between the judge and the defense attorneys and the prosecution. We're going to talk about it all, what she thought of opening statements tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Then Monday, I'm back live streaming the trial from very early in the morning on. Stay tuned, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night.
Oh, Donna, what a stitch you're in. You plotted a murder 'cause you wanted to raise your daughter's kid. Tallahassee is just a stop on the way to civilization. Miami is where all the fancy people are. The TV is about 5. You can't get away from that. Two-toe, tay-toe, hoo-ho, you know the guy you pay. And you can't get away from that. Oh, Donna, what a stitch you're in. You thought jail was just for the little people, but now you're so blankets with the locked up crew. You're a grandmother in lockdown, and your one-way ride to freedom you blew. Your family are exiled from the social circles you swam in. We all know you never made that banana bread or offered to babysit for Dan. But you'll soon be making license plates and thinking about what could have been. Oh, Donna, you had to plan a